I know contractors that do incredible work but have been stuck at the same exact revenue ceiling for the past 5 years. It's not because they're bad at construction, and it's not because they're lazy, and it's also not because there's no demand out there. In fact, some of them are way better at construction than the guys doing twice what they're doing in revenue. Hi, I'm Isaiah. I'm a third-generation contractor, and over the years, I've noticed something very interesting. Most contractors feel stuck because they feel like they just need more leads coming in. But that's not usually the real problem that I find. Because if more leads solved everything, you could just go out and buy leads, and the contractors that were buying the most leads would be the most successful. And we both know that's not true, because more leads doesn't always mean more revenue. There's so many other factors like the quality of the lead that comes in and how those leads are taken care of. I remember talking to a contractor not too long ago, and he was telling me how he was looking to scale his business. And honestly, I believed him. He worked hard, he was great at what he does, he had great before and after photos, and his customers loved him too. But after we continued talking, I noticed something that was very interesting. Every decision that he was making as a company was only focused on the today and only the next couple days ahead. Today's job, today's estimate, and today's problem to fix. That was it. And before you know it, weeks turned into months, and there was no actual strategy that he was doing to take place in his company. The thing was that his business was moving, but it wasn't growing. And I think this is where a lot of contractors tend to get trapped, because being busy feels like progress, but it's actually not a lot of the time. Being busy and growing as a contractor are two completely different things. I know contractors that are working 60, 70, or 80 hours a week and feel like they're constantly just having to run around. And if you compare where their business is at right now to where it was 3 years ago, they're still at the exact same amount of revenue and profit for their company. They still have the same amount of problems, the same amount of stress, and the same amount of predictability within their company, which is nothing. The only thing that's different is just that they're older and they feel like they have the same amount of time that they had before. Because most great contractors out there don't have a work ethic problem, they have a problem trying to figure out how to leverage their company to the most that it possibly can be. They're relying completely on themselves to grow their company. And if they stop working, everything slows down. They can't even take a vacation. If they get sick, the revenue drops. And if they get hurt too, the revenue drops. And this isn't because they're necessarily doing something wrong. It's because they've just built a job for themselves and not building a business that's predictable. And this is a lot easier to do as a contractor than most people think. Because when you're good at what you do, your natural instinct is to just continue doing what you're good at. More estimates, more projects, more problems to fix for homeowners. But eventually, this becomes the exact bottleneck, because the company can't grow faster than if it's just you as the owner. And this is what I realized about the contractors that continue to grow and the contractors that are always stuck every time I talk to them. The contractors stop to ask, how can I just work harder? And they start to ask, how can I grow the business without having to do everything? Those two mindsets are completely different, because growth isn't just about getting more leads or getting more projects. It's about how much capacity can you take on. It's about creating systems where every time you sign with a client to do a project, you don't feel like you're just more stressed. And honestly, this is where a lot of contractors start to hit a wall. They get more work, but they don't get better systems. So the revenue goes up, their stress goes up, and then also more problems go up too. And eventually they wind up exactly where they were before, with less problems, but less revenue. And this is why a lot of contractors, which might even be you, stop even trying to grow, because they just don't want more problems. Because growth starts to feel very painful. And I think that this is one of the biggest misconceptions with this industry for contractors. People think that scaling is just meaning working hard or just hustling more. But the contractors that are usually the most successful aren't the ones that are always just running around and feeling the most stress possible. They're contractors that are building better systems and making better business decisions. They're building stronger teams, and they're becoming better business owners because they're putting the right people in the right place. And this is what separates the contractors that are stuck always at the same revenue as last year and the ones that continue to scale. It's rarely just a skill that you learn, it's something that's structured as a company. Because the best contractor in town might not be the best at building the business. They're two completely different things. And this is the shift that most contractors need to make. They need to stop thinking about how can I just get through this week of projects and more about what do I want the business to look like in 3 years from right now. Because the answer to that second question is the one that really starts to build momentum from right where you are right now. And look, if you're feeling stuck right now and you feel like you're the only contractor out there that's having this problem, you're wrong. Every contractor out there at some point falls into this trap. Just remember that the solution is not always just working harder. It's stepping back from your business and looking at exactly where can my business grow and what are those constraints that are happening right now that are hindering me from scaling. If you want help looking at that, we'll do a free audit on your business and show you exactly what we would do if we were in your shoes. As of right now, we're helping contractors in over 300 plus counties scale using predictable systems that are proven. So we'll take a look at all your marketing that you're doing, your lead flow, and how to build predictable systems that scale. And I can tell you right now, sometimes it just takes a few minor tweaks on what you're doing right now. It's not something that takes months or years to try to nail down, but it's hard to see those and make those decisions when you're in the business constantly just trying to work harder. And it's a lot easier when you ask someone that does this for a living pertaining to helping contractors scale. So we'll show you exactly where you're missing those opportunities that can turn into an additional almost 6 figures every single month. Any contractor that we work with, it's a minimum for us to get them a 10x return on any investment that they make on ads or through us. And we even have a structure right now where you're only having to pay us per appointment. It's not something where you're having to pay per crap lead like Angie's List, Home Advisor, or Thumbtack. You only have to pay us per appointment that we book directly on your calendar that's pre-qualified in every way you want. Because sometimes breaking through that revenue ceiling that you're hitting right now isn't something that's going to take months to solve. It can be solved very quickly if you build predictable systems in your company. It's having the right strategy and the right systems in place to scale. Hope that helps. Now, I hope that all that I talked about helped you out. And if you want to book a call with us, go to our website and book a call.